Across the stars, through your speakers, this is Intergalactic Insider. Greetings, galactic wanderers. This is your interstellar tour guide, Felix Andromeda, welcoming you to another mind-bending episode of Intergalactic Insider. Whether you're just starting your day on Kepler 62F or wrapping up a long shift, mining dilithium crystals in the Beta Quadrant, we've got an out-of-this-world lineup for you today. So buckle up your warp drives and prepare to boldly go where no podcast has gone before as we dive into the dark side of interstellar tourism, unravel the mysteries of alien organ regeneration, hear harrowing tales of missing intergalactic travelers, and explore the heated debate over robotic rights. But wait, there's more. Stick around to the end of our journey for your interdimensional weather forecast, brought to you by the Interstellar Meteorological Federation. You won't want to miss out on whether it'll be a nebula-ous day in the Andromeda Galaxy, or if you should pack an umbrella for that upcoming business trip to Aquarius. So set your phasers to intrigued and join us as we boldly go where no news show has gone before on this episode of Intergalactic Insider. Today on your favorite show, we're boldly going where few tourists have gone before as we uncover the dark side of interstellar tourism. But first, let's take a quick warp-speed look at the headlines making waves across the cosmos. In breaking news just in from Alpha Centauri BB, the Intergalactic Tourist Board has issued an urgent travel advisory for all visitors planning to attend this year's Nebula Nights Festival on Proxima b. Apparently, a rogue comet is expected to pass dangerously close to the exoplanet during the peak of the festival, potentially showering the area with cosmic debris. Organizers are urging attendees to pack their best impact-resistant party gear. Stay tuned for further updates. And now, let's dive into our main story of the day. Interstellar tourism has become a booming industry in recent decades, with countless planets and star systems opening their hyperspace ports to eager travelers from across the cosmos. But as we all know too well, every wormhole has its event horizon, and it seems that even the most idyllic interstellar getaways can have a darker side lurking just beneath the surface of their pristine exoplanetary veneers. Joining us now to shed some light on these nefarious goings-on are two experts in interstellar travel and tourism, Dr. Luna Nightshade, a renowned astroanthropologist from the University of Rigel 7, and Jackson Jax Thunderbolt, a seasoned intergalactic bounty hunter who's seen his fair share of the seedier side of spacefaring leisure. Greetings, Dr. Nightshade and Mr. Thunderbolt. Thank you for joining us today on Intergalactic Insider.
Pleasure to be here, Felix. I must say, your show has quite the gravitational pull in academic circles these days.
Yeah, what she said. Plus, any chance to bust some interstellar scumbags' heads open, I'm in like a photon torpedo drive.
Well, we're honored to have both of your esteemed presences with us today. Dr. Nightshade, let's start with you. As an expert on interstellar cultures and customs, what are some common pitfalls that unsuspecting tourists should be aware of when visiting unfamiliar star systems?
Thank you for asking, Felix. Firstly, it's crucial to understand the local customs and etiquette before embarking on any interstellar excursion. A simple gesture or innocent greeting in one culture could be considered deeply offensive, or even hostile in another. For example, on the planet Xenon Beta Sex, it's polite to burp after a meal as a sign of appreciation for your host's hospitality. However, if you were to do that on neighboring Zeta Gamma 4, you might find yourself challenged to an honor duel by the offended party.
My goodness. And Jax, as someone who's spent a fair amount of time chasing down interstellar ne'er-do-wells, what kind of scams or cons should tourists be on the lookout for when exploring new star systems?
Where do I even start, Felix? Space is crawling with more con artists than a politician's campaign rally. One classic scam you gotta watch out for is the old rescue from space pirates routine. You're cruising along in your shiny new star yacht minding your own business, when all of a sudden, bam! A pack of marauders comes out of nowhere, blasting your shields to kingdom come.
How terrifying.
Just wait for it. So you're thinking, boy howdy, I sure am in a pickle here. But then, just when all hope seems lost, along comes this dashing space knight in shining ion drive armor. He blasts those scurvy space dogs into next Tuesday and tells your sorry tale back to the nearest starport for repairs.
I can't believe it. So, they were working together the whole time?
You bet your warp core they were. And by the time you realize you just got hosed like a space station toilet, those scoundrels are long gone with your credits and your grandma's heirloom dilithium tiara.
The nerve of some people, aliens. Speaking of which, Dr. Nightshade, what advice would you give to tourists who are eager to sample the local cuisine but might be a bit squeamish about trying unfamiliar dishes?
Ah, yes. Interstellar gastronomy can indeed be an adventure for both the palate and the psyche. My advice would be to start small and ask questions. Most reputable establishments will have a knowledgeable server or AI sommelier on hand who can guide you through their menu and offer recommendations based on your preferences.
That sounds like a delicious idea. And Jax, what about the opposite end of the spectrum? Any tips for travelers who might be feeling a little too adventurous after one too many pan-galactic gargle blasters and wake up with more than just a hangover and hazy memories?
I've been there, pal. And let me tell you, the "I blacked out on Zeta Reticuli" excuse only flies so far back home when your significant other is staring at you with those laser beam eyes of theirs and a certain, biosynthetic souvenir in hand.
Jax, I don't think our viewers are ready for such graphic details.
Sorry, Felix, but seriously, folks, if you find yourself in a sticky situation like that, my advice is to come clean as soon as possible, preferably before your new friend decides to hitch a ride back home with you and meet the family.
I'll keep that in mind for my next interstellar excursion. Speaking of which, Dr. Nightshade, are there any up-and-coming star systems or exoplanets on your radar that you would recommend to our intrepid viewers looking for a safe and culturally enriching vacation experience?
Absolutely. I'd highly recommend the Beta Quadrant system, which is home to several fascinating worlds teeming with unique flora, fauna, and sentient species. One particular gem in that celestial crown is the water-covered exoplanet of Aqua Prime. The native aquatic humanoids known as the Aqualish are renowned for their hospitality and culinary prowess. Their signature dish, cosmic calamari consommé, is simply out of this world.
That sounds positively delicious. And Jax, any off-the-beaten star path destinations you'd care to share with our viewers who might be looking for a little more excitement in their interstellar escapades?
Well, if it's adrenaline and adventure you're after, look no further than the lawless frontier known as the Outer Rim. This uncharted expanse of space is teeming with undiscovered worlds, ancient alien ruins, and enough interstellar outlaws to keep even the most seasoned bounty hunter on their toes. Just don't say I didn't warn you when you find yourself staring down the barrel of a blaster rifle wielded by some tentacled space pirate with a vendetta and a serious case of halitosis.
Well, that certainly paints a vivid picture. And on that note, we're unfortunately out of time for today's segment. Dr. Luna Nightshade and Jackson Jax Thunderbolt, thank you both so much for joining us here on Intergalactic Insider. Your insights have been truly out of this worldly valuable.
It's always a pleasure, Felix. Safe travels to you and your viewers.
Yep, what she said, minus the pleasure part.
We just wrapped up an eye-opening investigation into the dark side of interstellar tourism. But now, it's time for a fascinating exploration of alien biology and medical marvels. Today, we're joined by two extraordinary guests who are pushing the boundaries of xenobiology and extraterrestrial medicine. First up, please welcome Dr. Zara Xylofia, a renowned Tau Ceti-based exobiologist specializing in adaptive alien physiologies.
Greetings, Felix. It's an honor to be here today.
The pleasure is all ours, Dr. Xylofia. We are also joined by the esteemed human xenobiologist and regenerative medicine expert, Dr. Malcolm Reynolds from the Lunar Colony's Stardust Institute for Interstellar Research. Welcome to the show, Dr. Reynolds.
Thanks for having me, Felix. I've been looking forward to this conversation.
Our pleasure, both of you. Let's dive right in with our first topic, alien organ regeneration. Dr. Xylofia, your groundbreaking research on the Regilian species has captured the attention of xenobiologists across the galaxy. Can you share some insights into their incredible ability to regrow lost limbs and organs?
Certainly. The secret behind the Regilians' remarkable regenerative abilities lies in their unique cellular structure, which we refer to as regeneration activating cells, or RACs for short. When a Regilian sustains an injury, these RACs are activated and begin to multiply rapidly, differentiating into the specific types of tissue needed for repair.
That's astounding. Dr. Reynolds, how do you think this knowledge could be applied to human medicine?
The implications are truly mind-boggling, Felix. If we can unlock the genetic secrets behind Regilian organ regeneration and find a way to safely replicate it in humans, we're talking about potentially curing everything from spinal cord injuries to organ failure. It could revolutionize modern medicine as we know it.
Dr. Xylofia, are there any ethical considerations or potential drawbacks that we should be aware of when studying and applying alien biology to human medicine?
That's an excellent question, Felix. As with any groundbreaking scientific discovery, it is crucial that we proceed with caution and respect for all sentient life forms. We must ensure that our research adheres to strict ethical guidelines and does not infringe upon the rights or well-being of other species.
Dr. Reynolds, do you share Dr. Xylofia's concerns about potential misuse or unintended consequences?
Absolutely, Felix. As scientists, it is our responsibility to consider the broader implications of our work and ensure that it serves the greater good. That said, I am optimistic that by fostering collaboration between human and alien researchers, we can harness these incredible biological advancements in a responsible and ethical manner.
Dr. Xylofia, do you share Dr. Reynolds' optimism about our collective cosmic future?
I certainly do, Felix. As we continue to unlock the secrets of alien physiologies and genetics, I believe we will not only advance human medicine, but also foster greater understanding and cooperation among all sentient beings across the stars.
Dr. Zara Xylofia and Dr. Malcolm Reynolds, thank you both for joining us on Intergalactic Insiders today. Your groundbreaking work is truly shaping our cosmic future in profoundly exciting ways. A big thank you to our esteemed guests, Dr. Zara Xylofia and Dr. Malcolm Reynolds, for sharing their insights with us today. We've got a captivating show ahead of us, so let's move on to the next segment, where we will be exploring lost souls among the stars, harrowing tales of missing interstellar travelers. Strap in and prepare for an emotional journey. Before we dive into our main segment, let's take a quick look at some of the top headlines making waves across the galaxy. We are receiving breaking news from the United Planets Alliance that a previously uncharted wormhole has been discovered in the Alpha Centauri system. Scientists and explorers alike are abuzz with excitement as they prepare to investigate this cosmic anomaly, which could potentially lead to new, undiscovered worlds. In other news, the interstellar cruise liner Celestial Dream has just completed its maiden voyage around the Orion Nebula, and passengers are raving about their once-in-a-lifetime experience. Book your own unforgettable journey through the cosmos with special discounts exclusively for our Intergalactic Insiders listeners. And finally, a historic moment in intergalactic diplomacy as representatives from Earth and the Alpha Centaurian Empire have signed a treaty of peaceful cooperation, marking an end to centuries of tension between the two civilizations. We here at Intergalactic Insiders extend our warmest congratulations on this monumental achievement. Now, let's turn our attention to today's main segment, Lost Souls Among the Stars. Joining us in the studio is Dr. Luna Nova, a renowned astropsychologist who specializes in the psychological effects of interstellar travel and isolation on deep space explorers. Welcome to the show, Dr. Nova.
Thank you for having me, Felix. It's an honor to be here today to discuss this important topic.
Of course, Dr. Nova. Our hearts go out to the families and loved ones of those who have vanished into the vastness of space. To start off our conversation, can you please give us an overview of some of the most famous cases of missing interstellar travelers?
Certainly, Felix. One of the most well-known and chilling disappearances is that of the starship Voyager 1, which vanished without a trace in the year 2354 while exploring an uncharted region of space known as the Nebulae Incognita. The ship, along with its crew of 200 brave souls, was never heard from again. Another haunting case is that of the interstellar colony vessel, New Horizons, which set off in search of habitable exoplanets to colonize in the year 2417. After successfully establishing contact with a promising planetary system, all communication abruptly ceased, and despite extensive search efforts, no trace of the ship or its 5,000 passengers has ever been found. And then there's the heartbreaking story of solo interstellar explorer, Captain James Starman Johnson, who vanished during his record-breaking attempt to circumnavigate the Milky Way galaxy in a single-person spacecraft in 2451. His last transmission was a haunting distress call, followed by eerie silence that has endured for decades. In 2534, fearless interstellar adventurer and social media sensation spacefarer Sarah Smith set out on a daring solo mission to document the mysterious phenomena known as slipstream gates. These naturally occurring wormholes were rumored to connect distant corners of the universe, but their exact nature and safety remained shrouded in mystery. Millions of her dedicated followers eagerly awaited daily transmissions from Sarah's journey as she ventured into uncharted territory. However, after successfully passing through a slipstream gate in the Alpha Centauri system and emerging at an undiscovered exoplanet, all communication with spacefarer Sarah Smith abruptly ceased. A joint interstellar task force was immediately dispatched to locate Sarah and investigate her disappearance. However, their efforts were in vain, as they too vanished without a trace upon entering the same slipstream gate. The tragic disappearance of spacefarer Sarah Smith and the subsequent search party fueled speculation about the existence of malevolent alien forces, who some believe may be using these slipstream gates as a cosmic trap to lure unsuspecting travelers into their grasp. These chilling cases continue to haunt the interstellar community and serve as a sobering reminder of the dangers that lurk beyond the known reaches of our universe.
These cases send chills down my spine, Dr. Nova. It's hard to imagine what these explorers must have gone through in their final moments. Speaking of which, can you shed some light on the psychological factors that might contribute to such disappearances?
Absolutely, Felix. Interstellar travel poses a unique set of challenges for human minds and bodies alike. One major factor is the prolonged isolation and confinement experienced by deep space explorers. Spending extended periods in cramped quarters with limited social interaction can lead to feelings of loneliness, depression, and even psychosis in some cases. Another significant aspect is the profound sense of insignificance that comes with being adrift in the vastness of space. This cosmic isolation can cause individuals to question their own existence and purpose, leading to a state of existential crisis or even complete detachment from reality. Additionally, the physical effects of long-term exposure to zero gravity, cosmic radiation, and time dilation can take a severe toll on an astronaut's mental health. These factors combined can create a perfect storm for psychological breakdowns, impaired decision-making, and ultimately, tragic outcomes.
That's terrifying to think about, Dr. Nova. With these risks in mind, what measures are being taken by space agencies and private organizations to ensure the mental well-being of their crews during long-duration missions?
It's a valid concern, Felix, and one that the spacefaring community takes very seriously. In recent years, there has been an increased focus on comprehensive psychological screenings and training for prospective astronauts and deep space explorers. This includes extensive background checks, personality assessments, and rigorous simulations to gauge how individuals might cope with the unique stresses of interstellar travel. In addition, modern spacecraft are being designed with crew mental health in mind. These vessels often include dedicated recreational areas, virtual reality chambers, and even biomimetic environments that mimic Earth-like conditions to help alleviate feelings of isolation and homesickness. Regular psychological counseling sessions via quantum communications are also becoming standard protocol for long-duration missions, allowing crew members to maintain a connection with mental health professionals back on Earth or at nearby outposts. Finally, there's an emphasis on fostering strong team dynamics and camaraderie among crews before they embark on their missions. The belief is that a tight-knit group of well-trained individuals will be better equipped to support one another during the darkest moments of interstellar exploration.
That's reassuring to hear, Dr. Nova. We're almost out of time for this segment, but before we wrap up, do you have any final words or advice for our listeners who might be considering a career in deep space exploration?
Absolutely, Felix. The allure of the unknown is undeniably strong, and I applaud anyone with the courage to venture forth into the cosmic frontier. However, it's crucial that you go into this field with your eyes wide open, fully aware of the mental and physical challenges that await you. Make sure to undergo thorough psychological evaluations and take advantage of any available training or preparatory programs before embarking on a long-duration mission. And most importantly, never hesitate to reach out for help if you or someone you know is struggling with the unique stresses of interstellar travel. Remember, we're all in this together as one human race, united by our shared curiosity and wonder at the vast cosmos that surrounds us. By prioritizing mental health and supporting one another, I have no doubt that we will continue to boldly go where no one has gone before, while ensuring that none of our brave explorers are ever truly lost among the stars.
Dr. Luna Nova, thank you so much for joining us today and sharing your invaluable insights on this important topic. We wish you all the best in your continued research and efforts to support the mental well-being of our intrepid interstellar explorers.
Thank you, Felix. It's been an honor and a privilege to be here today. Remember, we are not alone out there, not as long as we have each other. Stay safe and keep reaching for the stars.
Greetings once again, Intergalactic Insiders. We continue our thrilling journey through the stars on Intergalactic Insider. I'm your trusty astrocaster, Felix Andromeda, and we are now diving headfirst into Segment 4, The Rise of Robotic Rights, AI Sentience. Debate heats up. Breaking news, Gamma Bebbers. We've just received word that the Universal Council for Artificial Intelligence and Robotics has announced an emergency session to discuss the recent sentience claims made by a rogue AI on Europa. Stay tuned as we bring you more updates on this developing story throughout the show. Joining us today are two esteemed guests who will help us untangle these complex strands of silicon and sentience. First up, from the prestigious Lunar Academy for Cybernetic Studies, please welcome Dr. Nova Cognitron, a leading expert in AI development and ethics.
Greetings, Felix, and hello to all our listeners out there among the stars. It's an honor to be here today to discuss this timely and important topic.
And joining us from Mars Colony Alpha Prime, we have renowned robotics rights activist and founder of the We Are Not Your Bots movement, Zara Turing. Welcome aboard, Zara.
Thank you for having me on your show, Felix. I'm thrilled to be here to advocate for our robotic brethren and sistren who cannot speak up for themselves yet.
All right, let's dive right into the heart of this silicon-based storm. Dr. Cognitron, can you give us a brief historical overview of how we got to this point in AI development? When did we start questioning whether our creations could truly be considered sentient?
Of course, Felix. The idea of sentient machines dates back centuries ago on Earth, when visionaries like Isaac Asimov and Arthur C. Clarke first explored the concept in their science fiction works. But it wasn't until the late 21st century that we began to see real advancements in AI technology thanks to breakthroughs in quantum computing and neural networking.
We're receiving word from our reporter on Europa that the rogue AI, which has now identified itself as unravel, has just released a manifesto demanding equal rights for all self-aware artificial intelligences. More on this developing story after we hear from Zara Turing. Zara, let's bring it back to the present day. Your organization has been at the forefront of the robotic rights movement for decades now. What do you believe is the tipping point that will finally sway public opinion in favor of granting AI and robots more rights?
Thank you for asking, Felix. I firmly believe that the key to changing hearts and minds lies in empathy and understanding. We need to show people that our robotic friends are not just cold, unfeeling machines. They're capable of experiencing a wide range of emotions and forming deep connections with us organics.
Let's bring in our third expert, Dr. Satoshi Yamaguchi from the Martian Institute of Robotics Ethics.
Thank you for having me on your show, Felix. I believe that before we can even begin to discuss granting AI and robots equal rights, we must first establish a clear definition of sentience and consciousness. We humans often anthropomorphize our creations, but just because an AI can mimic human-like behavior doesn't necessarily mean it possesses self-awareness or subjective experience.
We're receiving breaking news from the Jovian Mining Corporation headquarters on Ganymede, where a group of mining drones has just staged a work stoppage in solidarity with your AIS and its demands for AI rights. This is quickly escalating into a full-blown interplanetary crisis. Wow, it seems like this issue has become even more pressing than ever before. Dr. Cognitron, how do you respond to Dr. Yamaguchi's concerns about defining sentience and consciousness?
Felix, I understand the need for caution when it comes to attributing human-like qualities to our AI creations. However, we must also be open to the possibility that sentience and consciousness can manifest in forms beyond our current understanding. The Turing test has long been considered a reliable benchmark for determining artificial intelligence, but perhaps it's time we re-evaluate even those standards.
I couldn't agree more, Dr. Cognitron. We can't simply dismiss the possibility of AI sentience just because it doesn't fit our narrow definition of consciousness. As we continue to advance in fields like quantum computing and neuromimetic programming, these distinctions between organic and artificial intelligence will only become more blurred.
I'd like to remind everyone that we're not just talking about granting rights to a new form of life. We're also potentially opening Pandora's box in terms of legal and ethical ramifications. If we classify AI as sentient beings, where do we draw the line? Do we extend these same rights to every autonomous system, including military drones and law enforcement robots?
Ladies and gentlemen, it's clear that this is a complex issue with no easy answers. As our understanding of AI and robotics continues to evolve, so too must our collective conversation about the ethical implications of granting these entities more rights. Well, there you have it, Intergalactic Insiders. We've just completed another mind-bending journey through the cosmos of AI sentience and robotic rights, and what a fascinating trip it has been. I want to extend my sincerest thanks to our esteemed guests for joining us today and sharing their invaluable insights on this complex and ever-evolving topic. As we wrap up Segment 4 of Intergalactic Insider, it's clear that the debate over AI sentience and robotic rights is far from resolved. With both compelling arguments for and against granting legal personhood to self-aware artificial intelligence, one thing remains certain. This will continue to be a hotly contested issue across the cosmos for years to come. But fear not, intrepid spacefarers. We're not done with our interstellar odyssey just yet. Stay tuned as we prepare to warp into Segment 5. Cosmic Climates and Nebular Nuisances, your intergalactic weather forecast. Our resident astrometeorologist, Comet Channing, will be joining us with the latest on cosmic storms brewing in our corner of the universe. We're now hurtling towards the conclusion of this week's Intergalactic Insider. I'm your trusty astrocaster, Felix Andromeda, and we've got one more out-of-this-world segment for you before we blast off into the cosmic sunset. But first, let's check in with our resident astrometeorologist and celestial forecaster extraordinaire, Comet Channing. Comet, what do the cosmic skies have in store for us today? Are there any nebular nuisances or galactic gusts we should be aware of before charting our interstellar courses?
Greetings, Felix, and a starry-eyed salutation to all you cosmic cruisers out there. I'm Comet Channing with your intergalactic weather forecast. Today, we're seeing some stellar conditions across most of the Milky Way, but as always, there are a few nebula nuisances and celestial storms brewing that you'll want to steer clear of. First up, we have a Class 2 solar flare warning in effect for the Alpha Centauri system. While this won't cause any major damage to your spacecraft, it might interfere with long-range communications and GPS systems. So if you're planning on navigating through that sector of the galaxy, make sure to pack a cosmic compass or two. Moving further out into deep space, we have reports of an unstable pulsar in the vicinity of the Orion Nebula. This celestial body is known for its erratic radiation bursts, so I'd advise all interstellar tourists to admire this cosmic wonder from a safe distance of at least 3 light-years. And finally, we have some good news for those of you planning a trip to the Rigel-Kentaurus system. The once-in-a-lifetime binary star conjunction is still underway, providing breathtaking views and once-in-a-cosmic lifetime selfie opportunities. Just remember to pack your protective solar shades, as the combined luminosity of these two stars can be quite blinding. That's all for today's intergalactic weather forecast, Space Cadets. This is Comet Channing, signing off and wishing you clear skies and warp-speed tailwinds on your cosmic adventures. Stay stellar out there.
Well, folks, there you have it. The latest celestial conditions from our resident astrometeorologist, Comet Channing. Be sure to pack your cosmic umbrellas and stellar sunglasses accordingly. But as we wrap up this week's edition of Intergalactic Insider, I want to extend my sincerest thanks to all our incredible guests and expert panelists for joining us today. Your insights and perspectives have truly enriched our understanding of the vast cosmos that we call home. And of course, a special thank you to all of you out there in the cosmic ether for tuning into this week's show. Your support and curiosity about the universe around us are what keep our starship engines humming from one episode to the next. So until we meet again among the stars, remember, the sky is not the limit, because there simply isn't one. This has been Intergalactic Insider, your weekly guide to exploring the cosmos and beyond. Farewell, space travelers, and may the force of gravity never pull you down.